What's happening, my Jack family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the topic, are abs made in the kitchen? And I'm going to be sharing what you can do to make your abs pop. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. You want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. More than anything, I want to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights, share your feedback and experiences. Right now, I'm pretty freaking lean, and when I stand relaxed, I've got visible abs, but I wouldn't necessarily say that they are popping out. Now, I can make them pop out by flexing my abs, and they definitely pop out a little bit more. I can manipulate my body in a way, striking the perfect pose where I'm leaning back a little bit, I'm twisting my trunk a little bit to really make my waist look narrow, and really flexing my abs all the way down, especially down to the pelvic floor, to really get them to pop out. So, and blowing all the air out. So a little demonstration here, a little twist, leaning back, blow the air out, and flex. So a lot of getting your abs to pop out is being able to strike that perfect pose. Now, if I want to see my abs pop out more when I'm standing relaxed, I'm definitely going to have to get a little bit leaner. That's going to come from consistently hitting a caloric deficit day in and day out until I achieve my goal. And this is usually where you hear those comments like abs are made in the kitchen or abs are 80% nutrition. And to me, those statements are a gross oversimplification of what it takes to make your abs pop, to get six-pack abs, to get shredded after 40. Now, yes, creating that caloric deficit, a good part of that's going to come from nutrition, managing your diet, but it's also going to come from the activity that you perform throughout the day, whether it's your weight training, cardio, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the stuff that I'm doing right now, moving around, moving my hands, standing, talking, getting out for leisurely walks, pacing in the gym. I've talked a lot about this in recent videos. So creating that caloric deficit is a combination of training and nutrition. Yes, you can't outwork a bad diet. If you are consuming excess calories all the time, you're going to make it very, very difficult. It's going to be very tough to get the amount of activity in necessary to burn more calories than what you're consuming, but it is a combination of both. And the most important thing, getting your abs to pop. Here's the thing, people who just try to get abs from managing their diet, from creating a caloric deficit, just from reducing the amount of food that they're consuming, a lot of times they get to their end goal and yeah, they look lean, but they look skinny. You're like, man, I hardly have any body fat on me at all. How come I'm not seeing my abs? They barely see a faint outline going down the middle, and they don't even really see any kind of cross section there. And that's because they didn't take the time to build up your abs. If you want your abs to pop, you gotta thicken those bad boys up. And that is gonna come from resistance training. So to thicken up my abs and really get them to pop, I like to train my abs hard 3 times per week with high volume. And here's how I like to structure my workouts, beginning with an exercise that places a little more emphasis on the lower abdominals. So movements that curl the pelvis upwards towards your shoulders. A movement like the hanging knee raise. So here, again, you're bringing your knees upwards, but really notice how the emphasis here is not just bringing my knees up to parallel with the ground there. I'm really making sure that I am curling that pelvis and bringing my knees up towards my head, getting a good stretch on the way down, engaging the abs, flexing those abs before raising them up. So I'm not using any momentum. Notice how still I am. I see a lot of people really kind of herky-jerky with this movement and using a lot of momentum to bring their knees up. So you really want to control this movement, really make sure that you're bringing those knees all the way up, curling that pelvis, really flexing the lower ab area. If this movement is too hard for you, you can perform a reverse crunch. You can either do this on the floor. I prefer on an incline, decline bench like this, which places a little bit more emphasis kind of in between that floor movement and the hanging knee raise. Again, here you don't have to worry about your arm strength or your shoulders feeling weak up above your head, but exact same movement here. You're curling your pelvis. You're lifting your butt up off the bench and curling that pelvis, curling those knees up towards your head. So movements like that is how I like to begin my workout. Usually because the lower abs fatigue a lot sooner than the other muscle groups. So if you place them towards the end of the workout, you probably wouldn't get many reps from this. So after an exercise that places a little more emphasis on the lower abdominals, I'll shift to a crunching movement, and a crunching movement with some pretty heavy resistance. I like to aim for the 8 to 12 rep range with these movements. So an exercise such as the cable crunch, definitely one of my favorite exercises for the abs, for really getting them to thicken up. Really use your mind-muscle connection with this. So the key here is kind of rounding that upper back, kind of driving those elbows down towards the knee. You're really trying to curl that trunk, curl around that upper back and contract the abs. And with a strong mind-muscle connection, you can feel it's very easy to feel the upper kind of mid-range of the abs there, but with a strong mind-muscle connection, you can also feel the lower aspect of your rectus abdominis doing a lot of the work there. So cable crunch or a machine crunch is another movement I like to load up there. Sometimes I'll perform this in the 10 to 15 rep range, but a lot of times I'll stick with the 8 to 12 rep range. Again, the higher resistance, you're really trying to challenge those ab muscles. Your abs engage with every movement that you perform throughout the day. You take a step, your abs are engaged. So you really got to challenge them. And that's why I like to load up the weight on the machine crunch and the cable crunch here. And again, just really focus on making those abdominals work. Next, I'll move on to a twisting movement, a movement that's going to work the obliques, a bit of the transverse abdominals there. So an exercise, my favorite one is the Russian twist. I'll just grab either a medicine ball or a weight plate, and either sitting at the end of a bench, on the ground, twisting side to side. This is I like to do higher reps, 15 to 20 repetitions here. It's just, I find it's a little bit safer. It's not a movement that you want to go heavy with when you got a little more cautious with your spine with exercises like this, but really stay focused, feel those obliques doing a lot of the work. You can do a 45-degree side bend as well. Probably not my favorite movement, but I like to work it in there as well just for variety. There's a torso twist that you can use. There's a lot of machines out, a lot of gyms out there have a machine that is a torso rotation. Again, for those movements, I like to keep around that 12 to 15 rep range. So nothing too heavy. Again, you don't want to make the obliques too thick and bulky. You want the rectus abdominis to really pop out, but the obliques, go work with that higher rep range there, again, just to be safe with the spine, and they tend to respond really well with the higher reps as well. Another great exercise for the obliques is the half kneeling woodchopper here. Really great because you are basically stabilizing a lot of your body, so there's not twisting going on there. Your trunk is in a nice secure position, and it's just the resistance, that bringing that cable across your body there, that is forcing your obliques to do a lot of the work, to contract, to engage there. So really nice joint friendly, spine friendly movement to challenge the obliques in a great way. Next, I like to move on to a planking type movement, something like the Spider-Man, where not only am I keeping the core tight and engaged, but also getting the obliques involved here as well by bringing that knee up towards the elbow there. So kind of getting the best of both worlds, really engaging your entire core there. Just a great movement that you would perform to failure there. And then finishing off with an exercise like the ab wheel rollout. One of my favorite movements, one of the best exercises for the abdominal muscle. Really getting a good stretch there, so keeping the core tight, engaged, not allowing the hips to drop down too low. You don't want to get an arch in the lower back. You want to stretch yourself out, maintaining a strong, stable core, strong, stable shoulders. So reaching out as far as you can comfortably, and then really driving that wheel down hard into the floor, really curling kind of your upper back there and pulling that wheel in towards your body. So really rounding your back and crunching forward, and then stretching out and really feeling that tension. So that is the way I like to structure my ab workouts, hitting about 3 sets of everything. Sometimes I'll superset some movements in there, but usually I like to just break them all down. Individual exercises, 3 sets each. The hanging knee raises, the reverse crunches, I'm just training to momentary muscular failure, so as many reps as possible. The cable crunch or machine crunch, I'm going to perform typically in the 8 to 12 rep range, 3 sets there. Then I'll move on to an exercise for the oblique that's usually higher reps, 15 to 20 repetitions, 3 sets there. Then I'll move on to like a planking type movement where they're just holding the plank, doing an RKC plank where really squeezing hard at creating some inward intention, or that Spider-Man there where, again, training to momentary muscular failure, doing as many reps as possible for 3 sets. I'll either do that, like a planking type movement, or the ab wheel rollout. So those are movements that I would swap out. Of course, but there's a bunch of TRX videos. I've got a whole workout on just the TRX stuff. I'll include a link up above and down below. Those are great combinations. There's so many different ab exercises that you can do, but hit them hard, train them hard with high volume 3 times per week. Really thicken those suckers up. And if it's at the end of the workout, you may want to sip on some protein powder or a carb drink or something. Make sure that you have your full energy and focus. If you find that you do not have your full energy and focus for your ab training, train them on off days or do them later on in the day, splitting them up somehow where you can dedicate as much energy as possible. I typically don't like to do them at the beginning of a workout because when your core is fatigued, it can affect every other exercise that you're performing. If you're just doing an arm day, that's a possibility, but definitely not on leg day or back day. Your core just gets way too engaged with those exercises, and you don't want to be squatting or deadlifting with a fatigued core. Even dumbbell rows and some rowing movements, a bent over barbell row, when your abs are weak and fatigued, that can put you at greater risk. So yes, prioritize them, but prioritize them intelligently in your programming. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. You want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. More than anything, I want to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights, share your feedback and experiences. Let me know, how often do you train your abs? Do you train them hard? Are your abs popping right now? I want to hear from you down in the comment section below. And before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. I hope you have yourself an absolutely amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.